Hi, everybody. We are live. It is Thursday night, and it is Plausible Deniability. I'm Michael Cross.
I'm Brooke Bullock.
Johnny Payne.
Johnny Payne.
Yeah.
Plausible Deniability. Right
Supposedly.
here
Supposedly.
on this rainy, apparently thunderstormy Monday night, or Thursday night. I don't even know what night it is. Thursday night here in
Last
Oklahoma
day
City.
of November, we're getting spring weather.
Yeah, typical.
Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma. You know, one thing I will say about Oklahoma, because I do weather for the morning edition here in Oklahoma City, and the one thing I will say about Oklahoma weather, Will Rogers was correct. If you don't like the weather
Like
in
the weather.
Oklahoma, just wait a bit; it'll change. But the great thing about Oklahoma weather is, although it will change very easily, it is predictable. We can't actually
Go
predict
on.
if it's going to rain in the morning, be hot and sunny during the day, and then snowing at night. We can tell you, hey everybody, it's going to be raining in the morning. It'll be hot and sunny during the day, and then snowing at night,
That's true.
which I've seen happen.
That's true.
But again,
And the number of times in my lifetime when which it has been like a 30 or even 40 degree temperature swing in one day. Like, what?
Yeah, it's insane. So I hope everyone's doing good. How's everyone's week going?
It's been a crazy busy week, like really busy. But
Well, it's that season. It's coming up on
Tomorrow's
Christmas,
Friday.
and it's like I got so much to do to get ready for
Yeah,
Christmas.
it's usually super slow in my world, but yeah, it hasn't. Yeah, the past few weeks has been kind of work and such.
Yeah, looks like we
how about you guys out there in chat land? Dawn, good to see you.
Don
Woo!
Bills, Andrew, so great to have you guys here. We already got 7 people watching. That's fantastic. We
Good to
just
see you guys.
started streaming technically 1 minute ago,
Woohoo!
and so who else have we got here?
I'm
You got me.
excited.
We have Brooke this time.
Yes, Brooke. Why are you
I'm
excited?
back. I'm back. Well, I'm excited because we have a chance to maybe disprove Carrie Hester. If you listen to a recent outtake, she was all bragging about Andrew winning trivia, which
Yes.
which often happens. Not gonna lie, but currently Ruffles has been giving him a run for his money. Ruffles and Falcor. So woohoo. I don't know that Ruffles is in the chat yet. So Andrew, here's your chance.
Yeah, I tell you,
I pinged him. He should be getting in.
I don't know if, for all our listeners out there, I don't know if you listened to episode 55 yet, but the outtakes for episode 55 it's some of the funniest we've had in a so funny, and I'd forgotten how funny they were. I was driving up the Lake Hefner Parkway and nearly crashed my car. I was laughing so hard. So do not operate motor vehicles whilst listening to Red Dirt D&D.
In the
we're not
Discord one time,
responsible.
I think. Oh, yep. In the Discord one time, I think Kilted Warrior Mike, I think, mentioned that one time. He was like, "You guys about killed me today." You know. So.
Yeah, and that's why I put in the outtakes, is because if you listen to other podcasts, they'll have it kind of sprinkled in throughout, because they're not editing them out. Like, put all the funny stuff at the end to where you just can't stop laughing.
Right.
Much funnier. All right.
And it was an episode, no spoilers, but it was an episode that does have a pretty good emotional swing to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're so funny, is because, as we have learned, we deflect with humor. And so.
Well, and I think it was our very first episode, and I think even you mentioned, is like, why are we like this? Is there first episode?
We were squirrely. It was first thing in the morning, and we were squirrely.
It was crazy. It's crazy. Okay, so I usually try to do this with a few people in. We got 7 people, so we're gonna start trivia. You guys ready for trivia?
Let's do trivia.
Got my trivia glasses on. I'm ready.
There we go. Andrew is ready. Curtis, we got Curtis. Don. Let's see who else.
Oh, shut up.
Right. All right. So we'll start, of course, with magic and miscellany. What 9th level conjuration spell is usually considered to be the most powerful spell a mortal creature can cast? What ninth level conjuration spell is usually considered to be the most powerful spell a mortal creature can cast? Message.
Because your mother said so.
Mother, may I?
Message.
No.
It's me. Don't freak out.
It's me. Don't freak out. And I love the fact that, hey, it's
That-
Makrin. Don't freak out. That has
That
actually
is true.
carried on as the
Mhm.
running joke throughout the entire. That's going to be the running joke for the rest of Red Dirt D&D. Anytime you use
Yeah.
message, hey, it's me. Don't freak out.
Mysteries of Beatrix uses it. Keys to the Golden
Yeah.
Vault uses it. It's just it tickles my little heart. It makes me so funny that something just a weird little
Yeah.
thing like that is an Easter egg in other shows. So
It was just a random. There we go. Andrew, right out of the bat. Andrew wins trivia. Well, Andrew got that answer anyway. Yes,
Andrew does take the lead now in our current set. So he now, with that one right there, has 4. Ruffles has 3. Hal has 2, and Germs and Dawn both have 1. So Dawn can do a sweep and take this whole thing.
Yeah. It says more powerful spells have been cast, but they tend to have dire consequences. So, yeah. So wish right there. Wish with the.
I was thinking power word kill, but
power word kill.
Ooh.
Oh, too soon.
Too soon. Still too soon.
Too
Okay. By the way, what got me laughing on the outtakes this past one was when Kiri was talking about Beyonce and Twilly and Blumpkin if she ever runs into Pumpkin again.
yeah.
Anyway, so monsters. Here we go. Monster. No. History. Sorry, history. Under what legal agreement did Wizards of the Coast allow third-party publishers to produce content using the D&D 3rd edition system? Under what legal agreement did Wizards of the Coast allow third-party publishers to produce content using the D&D 3rd edition system?
You know, I'm guessing when that question was put in there, it was going to be rated as like hard.
Yeah. It was probably a difficult question.
Now we're all well versed. It's not what you think it is, though.
We'll see who gets
Oh.
it. It's interesting.
I know what it is.
Yeah, the Blumpkin, and then when we were sequestered off and we couldn't talk to the young Duke, so we were over recording Plausible Deniability while Billy and Beatrix were talking to him.
The OTC, Andrew says.
The OTC, the
Yep.
original trade agreement. No, that's OTA.
Contract.
The original the Outer Trade Commission sounds like something that George Lucas would have come up with.
Our tactical content.
Oh,
That's something Gary would have come up with.
that's something
Yes.
Gary Guy guys would have come up with. Which, by the way, I finished reading of Dice Wizards or
Yeah.
Game Wizards.
Is it
Dice
good?
Wizards. And it's a very, you got to have a love for the content because it's a very non-fiction-y
Right.
history of the game. But there's some really interesting things in there. And it's also interesting how history kind of seems to rhyme, if not repeat itself, because, TSR makes some overreach decisions. Maybe they try to get too big too fast and, don't listen to the market. And it's just very interesting how similar the timeline is to some things now. So,
Andrew, yes, after your typo correction, you finally got it. It is the Open Gaming License, or the OGL, which, of course, was full topic a year ago. Well, at the beginning of this year, everyone was talking about the Open Gaming License and the possible changes, which, of course, they went back and changed the changes. So, okay.
Gosh, was that just a year ago in January? Was that
earlier
just
this year? Yeah.
Man, it feels like it was a long time ago.
This has been a very long year. This has been
It's been a
very,
busy
very,
year.
very long
Lots
year.
of
Yeah.
news.
And you realize we've been doing campaign 2 for a year now, for more than a year.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Year and a half.
It was supposed to be. We idealized it as just being like a short run, and it's
well, it was going to be, but then we wanted to
It came to
make sure
life.
that campaign 3 was ready to go, so we
Yeah.
extended it a little bit longer just to
Yeah.
give Brooke a little more time to put down campaign 3. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, Brooke's stuff, it's looking good, guys. All you
And we're
guys
gonna-
out there, campaign 3, Brooke has got something really special for us. So get
It's a
ready.
collaborative effort that we're building,
It's gonna
but
be-
I'm super excited about what's going to happen.
It's
It's really
My
gonna be
cool.
personal goal for the whole campaign is to never cast a spell.
Are you playing a fighter?
Yes,
There you go.
it's still going to be hard.
It is. It is. Almost so many characters are magic based, but of course, Kimberly never plays a magic character. She always plays characters.
Yeah.
So she goes for
Because she is
Female,
the
yeah.
magic.
yeah. Okay, monsters. Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. A Gorgon's body is covered with plates made of what material? A Gorgon's body is covered with plates made of what material? Plastic.
Gorgon parts.
Old Star Trek uniform. Oh, Gorgon, not Gorn.
That's
Not
right.
Gorn. Okay.
Microphones. Like the Gorgon eyes from the original series. Man,
All right.
that was a great episode. We're going to talk about that later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are, because we're going to talk Trek.
We are going to talk.
Trek is important.
We are going to talk Trek. We got Trek. We got D&D. We got a Remembrance. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Doctor
Yeah.
Who. I mean,
Oh my gosh, Doctor Who.
yeah.
Oh, good guess by
still-
Dawn.
Andrew, I'm going to say no, but you are close. So
With his first answer of
Oh no, with metal. So I'm going to
there you go.
say because that's too generic. I need
aha.
to be more specific. So everyone out there, we're looking for more specific metal. This is a hard one, so that's why I'll give you that, guys. It is a metal, but not just any metal, because it matters.
You're laughing at Curtis.
Johnny Payne.
I'm laughing at Curtis.
Oh, the Italian version, Gianni.
Gianni. Like
Which is kind of,
Versace.
you kind of got the Gianni thing going on a little bit.
Gianni, hey.
Forget about it.
Do I make you laugh? Am I a clown?
Do I amuse you?
Do I amuse you? Which I know that's Goodfellas, but I can't help but think of the pigeons. That's where
Which is where they got it from, right? But
yeah, I mean,
Wow.
the pigeons got it from Goodfellas, but it's still they did it so well.
Curtis
That's it.
with gold pressed platinum.
gold
Cold
press
press
platinum.
platinum. Ah, yes, that needs to happen. That needs to be a metallic dragon.
Oh,
It's a gold pressed platinum
there
dragon.
you go. I
with
read
really
a
big
little.
ears.
So it's just this weak, hollow shell full of liquid.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we're gonna go with Andrew's iron.
Iron?
Yes, iron is the correct answer. And you didn't have to say it in the form of a question, but you did. So,
That was the form of no
Yeah.
confidence.
yes.
Adamantine was actually my frivolous guess, but I thought it might be too close. Oh my god, what is the super wonderful metal? Not mithril, but the super wonderful metal in D&D.
Adamantium. Oh no, adamantine.
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 There we
And
go.
yeah, so a sick or inactive Gorgon is prone to rusting. That's why iron is important. So,
Oh.
all right.
A
Mortal enemies with a rust monster, then?
Sure.
Would that be?
Yeah, that would be
know?
interesting. You could attack a Gorgon with a rust monster.
just throw it, just yeet a rust monster
Use a
in that
rust
case.
monster at it. It'd have to be the wizard
Kitty
that does it, though.
go. Kitty must
Fighter couldn't
go.
do it.
And Naked Fighter could.
That's right. Okay. Adventures. What abominable snowmen serve as scouts for the frost giants in G2, the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl? What
Is it politically incorrect?
What?
Is it politically incorrect if I say Eskimos? Is that politically incorrect?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I won't say it then.
What?
We just lost. We just lost all our
They're
Eskimo viewers.
Inuit.
All of our Alaskan viewers are like,
What abominable snowmen serve as scouts for the frost giants in G2, the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl? This
Wampa
actually
ice creatures.
should be fairly easy. But
Wampa ice creatures.
so did you guys see Doctor Who? Did you guys see the first
Yeah.
episode? Okay. We're going to talk about that. I was so excited. It was so good. It was like going to visit an old friend. I'll just say that. We'll talk about it more. There you go.
because it was.
Look at that. Andrew, still not correct in either spelling, but I'm guessing I smell what you're stepping in. Yeah, Andrew, true to Kiri's prediction, Andrew is winning, is dominating.
Dominating.
Trivia. So with the answer of Yeti. Yeti is correct.
Woo!
We won't take either of those spellings because those are incorrect. But the answer is correct. Yeti is correct. All right. This is characters. What is the alignment of those who act as their conscience directs, with little regard for what others expect? What?
Libertarian.
What?
Asperger.
What is the alignment of those who act as their conscience directs, with little regard for what others expect?
Free.
Freedom.
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 I just realized
So you-
how during that scene we had that face paint on, how offensive to Smurfs that was.
But was it Smurf paste? Was it made of pixie powder? You know, like I'm just
Oh,
wondering,
yeah.
Gargamel.
where does
Look
it,
at
you
that.
know?
Yeah, we just get it. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Here we go. No, Andrew, that is not correct.
Oh.
So still, yeah. They're still looking for the alignment of those who act as their conscience directs, with little regard for what others expect, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know if I would give. This is a hard one because you think there's a little bit more to it, but yeah, that's just the first part of it. So
Yeah. Chaotic neutral's a really good guess for that. And
is.
the second part of that, I'm wondering if they mean like whether how it affects others, like no regard to how it affects others, which would tilt it one way.
Here's a hint. I always think of Han Solo as this alignment.
Ah.
Andrew got
Glow
it.
carpet.
Andrew got it.
Neutral selfish.
Chaotic good.
Chaotic good. Yay.
Chaotic good. So Andrew, with all 5, am I correct? Is that right?
Yeah, it's been an Andrew sweep so far.
Yeah. And he's going to throw
Everything's
chaotic
coming
evil
up
too.
in.
All right. True neutral.
No regard
See,
for how others might feel.
Now,
Not
Andrew-
sharing the wealth at all.
Yeah, Andrew, I would have actually said true neutral would actually probably have been the right answer, but it is actually chaotic good is on this thing. So, because the alignment, sure, you act in your own conscious directs with little regard for what others expect, but trying to do for others in their interests. I mean, that's good. There's no real explanation of how they got to good. I think chaotic neutral probably would have been the more correct, or true neutral, but the actual answer is chaotic good according to the writers of this. So, final one in cosmology. Which of the outer planes consists of enormous iron cubes floating and colliding in an airy void, a place of endless strife and battle.
The Borg.
Yeah. Which of the outer planes consists of enormous iron cubes floating and colliding in an airy void, a place of endless strife, a teenager's bedroom?
The San Francisco Freeway. Oh no, wait, nothing moved there.
No, it just stays where it is.
Nothing moved.
Barring from a previous question, I'm going to say Gorgonzola.
That would be great. The chitinous plates of cheese.
Man, a void of chaos in which
but not McInnes, because remember this is kind of more of a chaotic place, a place of endless strife. Whereas McInnes is more, it's a lawful, isn't that lawful good?
Lawful neutral, I'm sure.
Neutral, something like that. It's that's where all the modrons come from.
Exactly.
Modrons.
The asteroid belt.
Yeah, Don, sounds like my bedroom as a kid too. That's exactly right. A place of endless strife and battle.
The cafeteria at the high school.
Or the silverware drawer in the kitchen.
That's the junk drawer in the kitchen.
The junk drawer. You close it and everything rearranges. This is the best example of quantum theory ever, right? Yes. You close the junk drawer, everything rearranges. You open the junk drawer, and you're like, what?
You can close your junk drawer?
There we go. Oh, my gosh. Andrew.
Oh!
Dude, 646 with Acheron. Acheron. Let's say Acheron. Let's go with Acheron.
Yeah.
Acheron.
Cherion.
Also known as the infinite battlefield of Acheron.
Woo!
Which I think is the opposite of McInnes. I think that's kind of the idea.
But
anyway. So
I don't know that we've ever had anybody sweep all 6 yet.
I know. So
that's impressive. I'm super impressed.
Kiri's theory, the Kiri theory would prove true that Andrew would win trivia this week.
Woohoo! So, and no offense to anyone else, but he has now crushed the lead. Andrew now has 9 with Ruffles and Falcor having 3. So, woohoo! And if my math is correct, we have 1 week left. We kind of go like every 4 plausible deniabilities, which gives us around 24 points or so, right? Yeah. So every 4 plausible deniabilities, we kind of do the reset or whatever, and so dun dun dun.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone will catch him next week.
Yeah.
Or I mean 2 weeks from now.
So first off, before we start anything else, I want to say Monday morning I woke up. I work for NPR, and I heard the bad news that Marty Krofft had died. I mean, it's not necessarily, but he's like 80 something. So, I mean, that's a really good long life. So, but Marty Krofft, if anyone does not know Marty Krofft, if you are under the age of 30, you do not know who Marty Krofft is. If you are a Gen Xer like we are, Sid and Marty Krofft were Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Sid and Marty Krofft, I was looking at his IMDb, and I'm looking at it again right now. HR Puffin stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Bugaloos. Do you guys remember the Bugaloos?
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing.
I don't remember that one.
As soon as I saw it, the theme song hit in my head. I haven't heard. The Bugaloos. We're in the air and fly, here in the air and everywhere, flying high, flying free. How I know that, I have no idea. But
that's crazy.
Both of them only 17 episodes. HR Puffin Stuff, only 17 episodes of HR Puffin Stuff.
There you go.
How is that so clear in my memory? There's only 17 episodes. The Bugaloos also only 17 episodes.
It really made an impact.
Yeah. Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Land of the Lost.
Of course.
Dr. Shrinker. If anyone remembers that Dr. Shrinker show. And then, of course, ended up doing also things like what was the Electra Woman and Dyna Girl?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, the and what was the other thing that I saw? It was more into the 80s. Was DC Follies? If anyone remembers DC
Mhm.
Follies, yeah,
Yep.
because I mean that's what they got their stuff from, was doing puppets,
Mhm.
and he and his brother were doing puppetry, and that's where they brought this whole thing. And so for me, I just I love Sid and Marty Krofft stuff is because it wasn't the silly cartoony stuff. It was real. You actually had to do, I guess, what we call now not using CG but using practical special
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why I love.
Claymation or double framing, the video on top of the people
Yeah.
running or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just puppetry. Same reason I loved watching the Muppets. But so yeah, it's just amazing the stuff that Marty Krofft put out. And first, again, the fact that HR Puffin stuff was only 17 episodes long, and yet still very much a part, at least of the Gen Xers that I know of our zeitgeist that we remember. So big memory out to Sid and Marty Krofft. And Sid's still alive. He's like 90
Still
something.
alive.
Yeah, 90 something.
Yep.
So anyway, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
What'd you think?
I'm very pleased because I thought this is either gonna go really well or really bad. That was kind of my expectation because bringing back a particular actor, trying to explain how that happened, what's going on, I was, because it could possibly be breaking some lore, and so I I was nervous, and also because depending on which day you ask me, my favorite doctors are either Matt Smith or David Tennant. It just kind of depends on the day. Love them both so much.
Johnny.
I loved the new opening.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. I really, it was like at first I didn't know, and then I was like, yeah, I like this with the new interior of the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I really missed Wilf.
Yeah,
I
he's
liked the conversation about him, but yeah,
yeah. And I loved David Tennant. I'm a big fan of David Tennant. David Tennant is my second favorite Doctor after Tom Baker. Tom Baker will always be my first and most loved Doctor, no matter what.
Yep.
Uh, but him coming back plus being with Russell T Davies, it was like visiting an old friend's house and like catching up, like we'd never had been apart at all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so really loved it. But did you know the Star Beast, which is where that story comes from, is an old 1980
Yeah.
comic book
comic strip.
from the fourth Doctor?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. So they
Yep.
took it and adapted it for modern. And so yeah, there was an actual old comic book that they did for the fourth Doctor that came out in like Doctor Who magazine or something like that.
Yeah.
So just really
And
cool.
did they kind of keep original design? I mean, obviously updating a little
they
bit.
had the
And the
writers
whole
of
point
the
that-
comic books come in,
Mhm.
and so yeah, and show them all their designs and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah. They kept the whole thing with it turned out being neat and all that.
yeah,
And that was so that's a deep cut that I don't think a lot of people realize until after the episode. It was a 60th anniversary special, and I don't think it was a great episode. I don't think it held up to the 50th anniversary, where you had the
yeah.
Ward Doctor, two
Yes.
amazing doctors in the same place at the same time. Rose lingering in the background and everything. It didn't. It seemed like it didn't seem like a 60th anniversary special. It just seemed like a let's go wrap up the Dr. Donna special, Dr. Donna storyline.
But I will say this: it's not over.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's got two more episodes.
that was the whole point of this, was that it was, instead of doing a 1 hour, 2 hour, or an hour and a half movie esque Doctor Who special, it's
Mhm.
3 specials in 3 weeks. So it could blow away the 50th anniversary. There's still two more episodes to go in this special. So, so far so good. I love having Catherine Tate back. I love
So
the fact
awesome.
that her daughter's name is Rose. I'm like, oh, so wonderful.
Yep.
There's so many good things in that, and yeah, just and even the first Donna Doctor meeting where he's pulling the packages down and sees who it is and immediately puts the packages back.
That was great.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So I really enjoyed that. We were talking about the Gorn.
We did. That kind of came up. I am the slow reader. I'm catching up to Strange New Worlds.
Right.
And so I shared with Johnny and with Michael earlier today a little tweet from Captain Kirk from William Shatner, and the thread underneath it was kind of talking about the Gorn, and there's a little debate about old Gorn versus new Gorn and those type of things, and so I just threw that out there for us to talk about, because for me, I really wanted more of the Gorn as a kid, like that episode Arena from the original show. Yeah, I mean, he's like super slow and swing, and there's that aspect, and you can tell it's a guy in a suit, right? It does have those cheesy aspects to it, but just the almost unstoppableness of this thing and the hiss
and the relentlessness
it really connected with me as a kid. And then there are some Gorn that show up in the animated series too, and so I kind of got my fix off of that a little bit. They've always been a favorite. They've always been a favorite monster / antagonist of me in Star Trek. So I'm super excited to have Strange New Worlds encounter them.
In the late 80s, early 90s, I played in Star Trek Battles, and the Gorn were a race that you could play in Star Trek Battles, and I loved playing the Gorn because of that.
Yeah, I like it. It kind of goes back to the lightsaber duel between Vader and Anakin in Star Wars: A New Hope. How it's just bang, bang,
You mean Vader,
bang.
Obi-Wan?
You watch any lightsaber duel afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's blah, 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 blah. So the suspension of disbelief and everything is there. So with that, I could easily see that Gorn that Kirk fought in Arizona, or wherever that rock formation is
California.
In real life.
It's
Western, all the
I could see that Gorn being a part of the the clutch of all the Gorn that jump out and instantly start killing each other and survival of the fittest, and if they bite you, you're impregnated with a Gorn, and on and on and on. And
but now,
I can see.
The only thing I wasn't in Arena wasn't Kirk the first one to see the Gorn? They had no idea what he looked like until the Metrons or whoever bombed him, beamed him down.
Yes.
So other people.
There's a contingency thing there, right? Like, especially knowing that Uhura and Spock are on the bridge at the time. Now, granted, they get, they don't know it's the Gorn until Kirk is pulled to the arena. And so, granted, maybe Uhura and Spock are on the bridge going, oh crap, it's a Gorn.
Ask, what is that? What is that? I mean,
yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of a consistency problem that they have. Now, I don't know if they've shown the Gorn completely to the cast. Some of the cast know of the Gorn because the security guard who was actually a slave of them, I think at one time.
Soon fought them, and they invaded our homeworld.
But I don't think anyone's actually seen them. We've kind of got glimpses of them, and I think that's the only thing they're kind of saving. They're not showing them. We know what they're lizard things.
Yeah,
and we're seeing them when we go flashbacks of the security guard.
No, wasn't there an episode where they found some that were like incubated or about to hatch, and No, there was an away team that came across them, and I think like main people
I'd
were
have to rewatch it. Now that because that's what I couldn't remember if they'd shown them full on.
because the blind Andorian guy wasn't that a thing in the
I
I'm
might.
trying to
Well,
remember that episode
I know they're coming.
Maybe they
Season
got
3 is like what,
to
in March or April is coming out. So I might
yeah
have to rewatch both seasons again. We tend, my wife and I tend to do that if there's a show we really
I
like.
feel like you're right, Michael. There were some episodes where it was like a little bit of here and there,
Yeah,
but then there was one where it's like they walked into a nest basically. They walked into
yeah,
there was an invasion, um, and there were like leftover babies being born. That was the big thing. Was it was like these are just babies. I mean, also if you think about it, remember when Spock and Chapel were trying to get to each other,
hmm
and Spock was in the suit? That was the Gorn they were fighting. So Spock laid hard eyes on a Gorn,
yeah. See, and like
and
I said,
yeah, yeah.
they made a point of that. No one knew what a Gorn looked like,
right.
and
Mhm.
when that episode. So I don't know. There might be some continuity things, but still,
Yeah,
I think it's great.
unless there's an evolution thing, like because look at how the Gorn were. So they infect you when they bite you, and then you incubate a Gorn and birth one. So
Right.
going to Alien to the perfect
Yeah.
specimen, if Alien incubates inside of a dog, they come out looking canine.
Oh,
If an
Oh.
alien, yeah, so all the ones that we see have incubated inside of us. But if you watch like the Alien Predator series and read some of the novels and stuff, there was a group of Marines that took cadaver sniffing dogs with them, and some of the
yeah.
dogs come missing, and suddenly there are alien dogs. Yeah,
Yes.
so they can
Interesting.
turn it, they can look more, take on the
So
So maybe that was
well, it makes sense for a xenomorph. It's the idea is
Mhm.
yeah,
that it's
morph. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's really
Yep.
cool. I never thought about
I'm
that.
not
That's really cool.
grabbing that from. I'm not grabbing that yet from these episodes of
From the
Stranger
Gorns,
Worlds.
right? Yeah.
But that's an interesting. That's an interesting take.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
And
also
who knows
wondering.
if Q doesn't show up and wipe their memory for the past 3 years,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
then and
I
Are
I
you,
don't.
are you gonna say Strange New Worlds is gonna have Q step out of the shower and be like it was all just a dream?
I would
I
really
will
be disappointed
throw.
if Q shows up in any. I love Q, but anytime you take a prequel series and bring back somebody who they'd never seen in the first place, just like don't ruin it, guys. That it just doesn't
oh
work.
yeah,
You
The
know.
best thing about Q is the throwback to Star Trek original series that Tremaine
Mhm.
was a juvenile Q, right?
yeah.
That's the best connection
Yeah.
when it comes to Q in my mind. I'm like, "Oh, nicely done, guys.
Yeah.
We have encountered Q before. We just didn't know it."
He was a
You know,
primitive
for
Q.
all the flaws of the first few seasons of Discovery, they did it right in that they met Harry Mudd
Hmm.
and they knew all these people and encountered all these things, but then they poofed. All records had to be wiped, and no one could talk about it.
Yeah.
So, so no one ever heard of Harry Mudd until we did,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
such. Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the new season coming out of that. So let's talk about something that Chris Pine is starting to leak.
Go
Yeah.
on.
No.
He's saying that there is a possible D&D movie sequel that could be under consideration. And I think this is there were when the strike happened, the WGA and the actors strike, the SAG-AFTRA strike,
Yeah.
that a lot of things that they were working on have kind of gone in the trash can. And because it just they I think after thinking about it, a lot of people went, that doesn't really work. But then a lot of things that they were kind of had put aside and weren't going to do at all, they've kind of revived. And I think the D&D sequel might actually be one of those. Now, more than likely, it will have a lower budget, and
Right.
which is fine. You don't have to have a big budget,
Mhm.
you know. And the beauty of D&D is it doesn't have to be world shattering. You know,
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah, you don't need to save the world plot. It's
Uh-uh.
maybe save two
Yeah.
people plot.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
just
It
go on
doesn't
an
have to
adventure.
be in game.
Yeah, and of course, we'll see what happens if the if a series comes out. There's still talk about a series. Uh, a D&D series at some point. I don't know. So
Hmm.
anyway, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael, I like the idea. I mean, if you think like Ocean's 11 wasn't about a heist to stop a nuke from destroying Earth.
Right.
It was about some dude robbing a bank, basically,
Yeah.
and it was a great story. And yeah, a lot of people think you have to have this like world. I mean, Star Wars did it and it worked well, but you can also take it down to this tiny small story that just affects this over here, and it's a great story. Yeah, doesn't always have to go epic scale.
That is actually why I liked Ant-Man. Why I'm one of the few people I think that liked Ant-Man, the movie, because it felt like it wasn't that world-ending type of situation. It was a good story that on a smaller scale that
But
now Ant-Man
I was going to ask you.
the Ant-Man 3 got a little bit crazy, but the original Ant-Man was fun because it was just this wonderful little story,
Hmm. Yeah.
So, and I like stories like that. What's really funny is you look at something like Fast and the Furious, where the first couple of ones were just about heist type stuff and a cop and infiltrating some fast car drivers, some racers. Now you look at the Fast and Furious movies. Now it is world ending type stuff.
yeah,
It's like what?
they're just race car drivers,
Race car
boys.
drivers. They're just street racers. What are they doing? Going out in space. Yeah.
I have never watched a single Fast and Furious movie.
You should. Just for
I
the
think I
absolute
glanced-
hilarity of it. It is.
I glanced at Tokyo Drift for about 20 minutes one day, and that's the most I need. I know I need to. I need to sit down and watch them all beginning to end. I love the stars that are in them and everything.
I had not until the eighth one came out, and then Kimberly and I sat down and watched. I'd never watched them either until we watched like all 7 plus the Turner and Hooch one that came out with I don't know not Turner.
Oh
whatever
yeah. Calvin and Hobbes.
Yes, Calvin and
Them
Hobbes.
two.
But I did. I watched them all, and it is.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch them that way because you get to see the progression of it. I think because I wasn't a big fan of that kind of movie. I'm still not that big of a fan of the movie, but it's fun to turn off your brain. It is fun to turn off your brain.
That is true.
I want to go next topic. I don't think it was the last episode. I think it was a few before we were talking about the end of Loki. And we didn't want to spoil it, so I said I'll wait till next time to tell you why I thought it was a great episode, but it was a bad ending.
Yes, I remember.
So spoilers for Loki. Spoilers
if you
for
haven't
Loki.
watched Loki and you don't want to be spoiled, we're about to talk about it. Go for it, Johnny.
So and now before I talk about Loki, I'm going to talk about I can't remember what it was, so I will just describe it to you. It's part of the MCU, and there's a big bad guy, like a universal bad guy who's going to destroy everything everywhere, and the good guys don't stop him, and so when he destroys everyone, they go away in like a powder dust.
Yes.
But the day is saved with time travel.
Yes.
What was the name of that? Was it the entire plot of all the Avengers movies, or was it Loki?
It was all phase 1, 2, and 3.
Or was it Loki?
Oh.
The big bad guy was trying to destroy everything, and as people faded away, it was in dust, but time travel saved the day. Loki. They're reusing the thing that worked really well.
Yeah.
That's why as I'm watching the episode, I'm like, it's a good episode. Man, I've seen this before. Everyone's turning to dust, and time travel saves the day.
Except it's what I love about it is it is the sacrifice.
That's what saves it for me.
I am Iron Man. Sacrifice. It's all the same.
No, because I mean that is one type of sacrifice, certainly, because he basically dies doing that.
Yeah.
Loki doesn't die.
Loki
doesn't, and that is almost more powerful when he becomes the god of stories. When he becomes the god of stories, and that look on his face, and that's where Tom Hiddleston will always be one of my favorite actors in the MCU. The look on his face, which is it's a completeness. It is a I am where I need to be, but he's going to be alone. He is the one who's what do they call Kang, the one who survives, the one at the end of time, or he who
He Who
remains.
Remains.
Yeah,
He Who
Yeah.
Remains.
he's going to be he who remains, but there's no castle. There's no. It is just going to be him standing there, holding on to
Remaining.
what when it turned over and it was Yggdrasil.
Oof. It's the best part.
Was
I can't wait to use it
yeah,
in mythology class. Like I can't
Yeah.
wait to show that clip in mythology class.
it was
You know, 'cause-
Yggdrasil.
Yeah. Anyway, one of the great things, of course, is that Neil Gaiman has done so well. I'm off on a little Norse mythology track
Yeah.
for a half second, but one of the things that Neil Gaiman did so well is he blatantly took what the Christian priests in the 800s were doing, and as they wrote down the Nordic stories, there's really good evidence that they added in the survival of M and Ash, the man and the woman, and Balder
That's-
surviving because he was in hell. And there's this idea that, maybe that was just the beginning. It's sacrilegious a little bit, but maybe that was the beginning of the Jesus aspect, right? And the creation of the
It was
for
it was their
Christianity.
they're trying to basically add in the Christian story to their Norse
Yeah,
mythology. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. But
And
I
bring
think,
them in. And so that thing with the tree,
mhm. Oh, it was so good, and it was and that it does add for the fact that Tom Hiddleston could show up as an aspect uh, in future stories. But his story, I think Tom Hiddleston's story, he's done, and
thanks,
and as an exiting character, I think probably the best exit character there is. When you look at Tony Stark and you look at uh, uh, Steve Rogers, and
I
this one,
really, yeah, I really, really hope that no writer does this. But it's an ending story. It's wrapped up, but he's also still there.
yes,
So there's that if if thing. I hope we don't
Now,
revisit, but
speaking
if,
of if, you have What If season 2 coming out.
which that could be fun.
That is it, because of course the beauty of that is it's animated. So whether or not you've got the Watcher and Loki doing something, there's things you can do there that I think would be great. But what comic books really do best is if they too decide to retire a character, they will have somebody come in and replace the characters. They're kind of, for example, Iron Butterfly.
Yeah.
I mean, she replaced Iron Man, and Captain America has been replaced so many times by Bucky and by the Winter
Falcon.
Soldier. Yeah, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. They've both been Captain America in the comic books. So so Sylvie could come in and easily be the next Loki, and
True.
she's a fabulous actor. I would love to see her do more stuff. So, and left me wanting more.
I just had a thought, and it's probably because of our level of conversation on different things, but Loki being the storyteller, the god of stories, it and in the gem, like it almost feels a little bit like when from Doctor Who the Impossible Girl jumps into the timeline and shows up in all those places,
Yeah.
which
it was very Clara-esque. Yes.
Yeah, Clara, thank you very much. So, which wouldn't she have made a fantastic female doctor? Like she just would have been incredible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They
Would have been
teased that a
incredible.
couple of times in some trailers that she was.
Yeah.
And it of course, that ended with her traveling with Maisie Williams
Yes.
in her own
Fantastic.
little TARDIS. So
Yeah.
no, I loved it. But yeah,
They're out there somewhere too.
I think Loki was that's why I enjoyed the ending. I didn't want to spoil last time, but for me, that was why I enjoyed that ending.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Overall, great series, and I'll still go back and say the first episode of the season, it
my
was
gosh,
fantastic. Yeah,
I did
yeah,
the whole time. My wife and I were just like
The whole
mouth
time.
dropped.
Mhm.
The
The
entire
whole time.
episode was
It
so
was good
good.
stuff. I'd watch the third season.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, but I don't know where the Marvel universe is going to go right now. I think they're kind of
They almost really need to dial it down. We've had these gigantic epic, you just can't get
which
much
do it.
bigger than saving the entire multiverse,
Yeah.
right? You gotta kind of come back down.
Do it.
And maybe itty bitty spoiler teaser, but the the after credit scene of the Marvels kind of alludes to that. Maybe we're gonna bring it back down.
I have
So
not. Have you seen Marvels?
I have,
Is it
and
good?
it's fun. Wait, I
Oh
don't
my
want to
God,
take away
Brooke, you
from
hate women.
I don't want to take away from their box office take or anything like that, but you can probably wait until it comes out on, streaming
Well, and we
because
did.
it is fun
It is
and
what
it
we.
is a great movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's worth, a ticket and a giant $10 box of popcorn and all, unless you just want to see it big.
Yeah, it
So
was. It's what we talked about last time. It was. I do want to see Marvels. I am a big fan of all three of the main characters. I am a big fan of Miss Marvel
I was
and
loud enough. It came across the
I heard it. Was
microphone
that
from
the thunder?
somebody. That was
Yeah, that was
really
here. I don't know if it was there,
Jeez.
but yeah.
So I'm a big fan of all of them, and so I really, especially Captain Marvel, I love her so much. I think from the comic books, boy, and
Hmm.
and I think that
Yeah.
it's really good. But then I'm thinking, it, I think a couple other movies have come out, and within like a month they're on Disney Plus, and I'm like,
yeah.
I, I, you mean I don't have to go sit in a dark room with hundreds of other people who have COVID? Great, I'll just sit on my sofa and wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
And so, and there are actually people saying it's going to come out before the end of December
Yeah.
on Disney
Which,
Plus.
I mean, it is worth the wait. Definitely watch it.
Oh, I will. I'll watch it the first weekend it
Villani,
comes out. Yeah.
Villani, whoever the young lady is,
You play Miss
Villani
Marvel?
that plays Miss Marvel,
Yeah.
like,
Or Kamala Khan.
she,
Kamala Khan. Yeah.
yeah, she steals every scene she's in. She's
No,
just great.
I
Like
loved the series. I
it was fantastic.
I love the
I
The
series,
love
series was
the
fantastic.
comic book.
and I love the
And
comic
that's
book.
what makes
Yeah,
the
the Miss
series
Marvel comic
so
book
fun, is
was
that there are
great.
so many Easter eggs to the series.
Yeah.
It's so fun, Johnny. You should watch it. You may have already watched it. I don't know. So
It was good. But it did veer away from the comic books a little bit, but
Yeah.
to tell a story in 8 episodes rather than
Mhm.
I mean the Miss Marvel series was an ongoing, and so, but I enjoyed the series. I enjoyed, so I was looking forward to the Marvels, but yeah, I just can't. And everyone was talking about, oh well, it didn't do well at the box office, and maybe the Marvel movies are out, maybe the comic book movies are going down. Like I think that Disney shot itself in the foot by saying, you know what, you don't want to watch it in the movie theater, we'll have it on Disney Plus in a month.
oh,
Like, well,
it'll be interesting to see if that strategy changes now that there's a new screen actor and writer contract, right?
yeah,
Because before they could almost, I'm just talking out of my
we don't know what
left
the
side of my
contract is
brain,
for
right?
the yeah.
Yeah. But if they could actually kind of save money by putting it on streaming and get people into the streaming service but not have to pay the residuals of however that was working versus when it's on the big screen, you know. And again, I'm just making stuff out of the left side of my head, who knows, but that could be interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe it will suddenly be more important
yeah, and
to
it's what happened to Scarlett Johansson. It's why there was the battle between the two was that the Disney said because we're not over COVID, and so basically Disney said, okay, we're going to release the Black Widow in the theaters, but we're also going to release it simultaneously on Disney Plus. And
yep.
she got all mad because like, well, you basically took away all my money
Yeah.
because you're basically telling people you don't have to go to the theater and spend, 15-20 bucks a ticket plus popcorn and all that kind of stuff. They can sit at their homes and watch it for free.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, and so I'm not. She had a good point. She kind of got because the contracts aren't made for streaming yet. Now that might have
No.
changed, That might. I'm hoping. I'm hoping the actress basically went to the filmmakers and went, guys, you're gonna have to start paying us for
100%.
streaming rights as well.
Yeah.
So
100%.
because they do a lot, and not just the big famous people that make millions of dollars. You know, the people who are working their butts off, who get to you don't get to know, you know, they're just trying
Yep.
to make a living. Yeah.
All those names that scroll. And I've said before, you know, ever since I took film as literature class from Northwestern and Dr. Yates, and he was talking about you haven't seen the whole movie until you see the logo at the very end after every single name has scrolled.
Mhm.
And so I used to annoy people because I'd stay until then, you know, just to,
Yeah.
I don't know,
And of course
some
now
righteous
that's what I
sense,
love
like
about
I'm going
the
to honor those people. So
yeah, that's what I love about the Marvel end credit scenes. Is it makes people stick around through the entire movie and watch all those credits. We have lost
Yep.
Johnny.
No, I'm in the chat.
Okay, well, your screen is doing something weird. Is it me? It might be
It's
me.
probably the electrical.
it's
Yeah.
probably the electrical. So do you guys, this may just be a weird quirk in me. But when I'm watching a movie, a Marvel movie, a DC movie, a whatever movie, that I know there's going to be end credit scene, and people get up and start to leave, I have to
Yeah.
do that so that I don't say to people, "Fool,
What are
sit
you
down.
doing?
This is another. Where are you going?" Especially when like parents get up with little kids, I'm like, "Wait," you know. My wife is like, "It's not your job to tell them. Maybe they have to go somewhere."
Yes. I don't know what's going on with the screen here, and it's going
I
to
have,
start showing
I
up.
think it's me. I have blackout curtains in here, and through the edge of them, I can see this like lightning just like pops up and like hovers a little bit and dissipates.
Yeah. So far, I'm not seeing it on the, and I don't know. I don't even know if I can refresh this.
For what it's worth, I'm not seeing it on my Discord screen here, Michael, if it
I do know
matters.
for a while on YouTube we could see your menu bar.
Well, it's gonna. I mean, it's gonna come up on YouTube soon. So, well,
Gotcha.
obviously, for anybody who's watching this right now, you've already seen it.
Oh,
So,
you've already seen
because
it.
unless something,
Saving the world with time travel right now.
yeah.
Mhm.
But because I'm hearing thunder up here too. So, okay, now you just cleared up finally.
Yay!
So
That's me.
there we go. So
Maybe it was your vampire conversation. You were just dialing it down so you didn't sparkle.
Right.
Is that what it was? I think that's what it was. I mean, if
yes.
any one of us is going to be a lost boy, we know who it is.
They're only noodles, Michael.
noodles. They're only noodles.
All right, grognard moment in the final three.
Yeah,
Final
go
3
for it.
minutes.
Love it.
Ready?
Grog on.
Grognardism number 1. Going back to the Gorn. It's 2023. So in the next season of Strange New Worlds, we're going to find out that the Gorn is actually a misunderstood society, and they're not evil and hell bent on killing everything. And we make friends with them and find out they're really cool people. Number 2 is
My gosh, you're jaded.
DMs don't make your players roll the attack die and the damage die at the same time.
Why not?
It pulls you out of the immersion. Roll to see if you hit. Wait for the anticipation to hear 14 plus 6, 20. Yeah. Let's see what you did. Oh, another hope. Kind of, yeah. And number 3, words of wisdom. I'm going to butcher the heck out of some Mark Twain here. Just because there's a group of people somewhere in the world who are deathly allergic to peanuts, it does not mean that you or I should not eat peanuts.
Right.
If my children
The
had
end.
been allergic to peanuts, they would have died because peanut butter is a big deal in my family.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
we just,
Yeah.
they
Bro.
just either would have learned, they would have coped. I'm not even talking with chocolate. I'm just talking straight up, man.
Yeah. Put it on pancakes with some syrup.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
bacon. And bacon.
Oh.
And lots and lots of bacon.
Yeah. See,
Anything.
I can see my
Almost
glitch now.
anything
Yeah.
to go with
I'm
peanut
like,
butter.
That's the glitch that's going on. So the best line ever from Ron Swanson. Ron Swanson walks into a diner and he's like, I want all the bacon. Now, I know you're thinking you're going to go back there and you're going to put some bacon in it and you're going to bring it back some bacon. No, I want all your bacon.
When I go to Subway and I order a sandwich, I tell them that I want a little bit of lettuce, not too much, some onions, some banana peppers, and as many black olives as you can legally give me. And they'll scoop on a lot and they'll go, anything else? And I'll say, if you give me more olives, you're going to get in trouble. And they, yeah, give me more. I want as many as you can. One time someone was like, I can't because the most expensive thing up here is the olives.
Oh, really?
And they watch how many of them we give away.
I did not know that.
And at the same time, I've had someone take the bag out of the holder and just dump it all over the sandwich. I want an olive sandwich with a side of meat on it. Black olives, man. I don't know. It's a thing.
I cannot
go to bed, Michael Cross.
I gotta go to bed. Everybody, first off, everyone check out Red Dirt D&D, brand new episode. We did hit, oh my gosh, how did we miss this? 110,000 downloads.
110,000 gigawatts.
100.
Where are we going to find that kind of power?
110,000 downloads, folks. We hit 110,000 downloads all time. It's all because of you. Thank you so much. Go out and share it with your friends. Let people know that Red Dirt D&D is still here. We also have, of course, Plausible Deniability every other weekend. We have Mysteries of Beatrix. We have the Red Dirt Outlaws on Tuesday. Red Dirt D&D is going strong. Red Dirt RPG